Now we're live.
Now we're live.
Up in the top left corner, you'll see a little red button that says live, and it'll give you a countdown. So you know how long you're on. So.
All right. Well, I don't see any comments, so we're going to figure that out to show.
Well, they give them time. They'll show up when they get here.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a few minutes.
There we go.
For people to get
live your comments show up on StreamYard. Maybe nobody will show up. I'll be a bummer.
Well, then we'll just talk to ourselves.
That's okay. We could sit here and talk for an hour.
And then they can watch the replay.
There you go.
This is true. This is true.
It says we're live on YouTube, so.
Yeah, we're live. We're good.
All right.
Let me check my other computer here.
And there's a pop-up that just says lunchtime laughter with
Got my
Lisa.
Computer here and my computer over here. So, all right, let me see.
You all said I was going to have a little screw up today, which I'm going to have a little screw up today.
No,
there we go.
All of us.
I don't see anybody in the chat room. Bummer.
Yeah, either that or they're just hanging out and they haven't said anything yet.
That's true.
Sometimes they'll do that. They'll just sit and hang and see what happens.
Welcome, everyone, to Kindness and Light. This is my home. And like I said, this is Thomas from Tarot Your Way, Sherry from the Swamp, and Hershey, the Shadow.
Hello.
Shadow maker.
The shadow knows.
The shadow knows. There you go.
That's before all of our ages.
Today we will be talking about dating. Now we're supposed to have a couple more guests popping in, but I don't know if we're all having technical difficulties or what. But we've been live for 2 minutes, so you're in chat. Like I said, site. My name is Lisa, and today we're going to be doing about dating. Now, in 2023, dating has completely changed to I have no idea what. I have been on a couple dating sites this week and posted it and put myself out there so I could figure out what the heck is going on in 2023. These fine guests that I have on here have all been in a similar situation, and I've tried to get answers from all of them, but like I said, this week I went on a couple dating sites and they all say free. Now, free dating sites are not free. You get on there, you put all your information in, and you
hope you don't get hacked.
yeah, more or less. But you can't answer back any messages you get. You have to pay to see who liked you. You have to pay to actually answer anything like that. So, it's just crazy. And so, like I said, I've been on a couple of them this week, and I've had some pretty weird messages from a couple of them. The first one, I believe, was they had... he said, I'm working out in the yard and I'm really dirty. I'm going to go inside and could you wash my back for me? It's like, okay, nope, I'm clicking off of you.
Wow.
Nope. But I caught myself too. Not looking at the pictures, because the first one the first message I got was, would you fall in love at first sight? Do you believe in love at first sight? And I said no, because you could be lust at first sight, that's for sure. You can actually like some person, but they could be the most evil person on the inside. That's you high flowing. Good day. How are you? But we also know that they can be mean and cruel on the inside. They can be, like I said, the most handsome, most beautifulest person in the world, and they can still be really cruel on the inside. So I just put no, and then I never heard from him again. So it's like, okay, fine. You know, if that's a pickup line, I don't know what, you know. See, they're obviously hearing me. Yep, watching your back. It's different nowadays so much that I have no clue what code words are for sex or anything like that. And I'm just hoping that the chat might come in and say what's going on for all of us that have been out of the dating scene so long. So I did kind of give you guys some questions, and I know that Hershey didn't get any, but it's just general questions, honey. No problem. What we're going to do today is
questions. I don't remember.
Yeah, we're going to laugh, and we're going to try to figure out what the dating scene is like in 2023.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yes.
Well, I did the online dating thing back in
Good evening,
2004, 2005, I think I said it was. Yeah, no. I gave it 6 months. It was like, okay, these people are weird.
Yeah, Sherry,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Really, I don't. 2004 was the last one I dated, and that man I knew when I was 16 years old. He was my first boyfriend.
Yeah.
I just bumped into him, and I knew that, you know, and it lasted 17 years.
Well,
and
it's
it's like,
weird when you get that first message from someone, and the first thing they say is, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You just take my breath away. I could tell I just fell in love with you instantly." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, let's back up a bit." You don't know me.
Thomas,
Looking at a picture, you know, how do you know that's what I really look like? I mean,
that's it too. Thomas, what would you think if somebody said that to you? They instantly fell in love with you by your picture.
Well, they're pretty forgiving if I give my real picture, because of the gap teeth down here, missing the two.
Well, they're forgiving. There you go. Now, would
mine
clothes
come out
matter?
every night and sit in a jar, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. See, that's another thing too. It ain't like we're like in our 30s or 40s or 20s anymore. At least I'm not.
Yeah. No, I just turned 62, so.
How would they react to the pill bottle sitting next to your bed, you know?
I have a
Like,
drawer
oh my
full of
God,
pills I take every day. My teeth come out at night and soak in a jar.
Yeah.
And I take
How
off
do
my
we
glasses.
date
I walk in
anymore?
the
That's
walls because I'm
crazy.
blind as a bat.
Yeah. How would we, you know, you can't really see that in just from a picture unless you look. Now, what about you, Hershey? How would you react if someone told you they fell in love with you instantly, just by your picture?
I've heard it. I don't believe it. I don't fall for the hype. I guess I'm not so easily snowballed.
Yeah, that's true. See, you're like me. I got to completely know the person more. But I did find myself this week looking and keeping the pictures up on the thing. And maybe I have private chat on here. No, I don't. Okay.
There was something in the private chat. I didn't know who
I
it
did
came
see
from.
that too.
I don't know.
You guys can see. Here's Jay.
Hello, it's Jay.
Hello, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Welcome.
What's up? Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet
Hello,
This
hello.
is the man to talk to.
Yes, that's why I definitely knew I had to have him on there. We are talking about dating today, Jay, and we are all just completely lost. A lot of us haven't really been dating that much in the last 20 years or 17 years. And I have been on a couple of the dating sites this week just to do some research and stuff. And it's just, yeah, it's been a really fun.
Gerald's asking if somebody has music playing in the background.
I
He says
do.
it's hard to hear, but I don't hear music, so.
I hear the music, but I don't know where it's coming from.
It's me. It's
Oh, okay.
mine. I'll do the. Let's see if I can get it shut off.
Yes, Jay has a channel. Jackie, give me a minute. I'll put it in the chat for you.
Yes,
Oh,
there we
thanks,
go. I shut the music off. There we go. All right.
Unos momentos, and I will pull it up and put it in there for you.
Thank you,
I've got it
Sherry.
saved on here somewhere.
I see. I'm all new with all this technology and stuff too, and I don't know how to put everything on and everything through StreamYard. But I do know. See, I'm trying to put people as.
Well, I made my own Word doc when I first started doing this.
Yeah.
Listing everybody's channels that, everybody that has a channel and goes on, and as I get to know them and find out what their real name is, and I'll put that in and all of that stuff. So then if I'm a moderator on someone's channel, or if I'm on my channel and someone comes in, I can post their site and say, hey, y'all go check out their channel, and it's just a shortcut.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to stop and look stuff up.
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to do, is try to get some moderators in here, but I'm not quite sure how to do it yet. And I don't want to fool with the thing until I'm done with the live. So who has snagged a date, Nancy? Hi, Nancy.
That's a good question.
Snagged a date. Now, Sherry said she actually got on the dating websites, and she actually went on a date on it. Several. There you go.
Several. I kept thinking it can't get any worse, and it just kept getting worse.
Did.
And finally, I was like, okay, no, that's enough.
All right, Jay, give us some expert advice. Now, I've watched you a couple times, and I did ask you when I seen you the first time. I went to a psychic in 2004, and she told me, now since we're all kind of doing tarot and we're kind of psychic and stuff and all the chat, all of us. So she told me that if you didn't have sex, you're a better reader. So I must be. I
might be good then.
I am Nostradamus. Here we go.
That's a first for me. I never heard that one before.
I've never heard of it either. And I remember asking Jay, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to have to check that out," but I never.
That must be their opinion, because it's like, when it comes to that, I don't have like the expertise to say, but all I can say is just like, if you have sex or don't, it's just like when it comes to just being a good reader, it's just really all about just really going with the flow of it too, just really trusting your intuition. So whether you ever had sex before or if you had recently, it doesn't really matter per se to you. Not saying not to downplay it.
Not that you're in tune with this person.
No, it's just like, it's hard to explain, because it's like even the dating state too, it's so different right now from, especially before COVID and after COVID.
Yeah,
and all that.
I noticed that
And
too.
so,
and with that, on the dating sites that I did try this week, we were talking about how supposedly they're free dating sites, and of course you get halfway through it and you can't message unless you pay like $170 for the year or whatever.
yeah.
And it's like, I'm not paying $170 to meet up somebody that just said, "Hi, Gerald," that just said, I'm will you come wish my back for me? It's like,
That's a new one.
Yeah, that's with my first message on a dating
That's
site.
a new one. Oh, honey, I've heard a lot worse.
I've been working out in the yard. Can you come and wish my back for me? And I said, hose him down. At least he said that was funny. So, but with those dating sites, have you ever caught yourself looking at the pictures and saying, nope, nope, nope? Because I did. It's like I couldn't be compatible with somebody that's in workout, with big old muscles and got to be fit. I'm not a Barbie. I'm a big person. I want somebody to be able to eat a burger once in a while, So it's like click to the left or whatever. No, sorry, swipe you. It's just weird. But do you judge a book by the cover? like I'm sitting here in a thing, but if I was sitting here in a t-shirt, would you say, oh man, she's really sloppy? I've got lava lamps behind me and you can see the background pictures. Would you look at a picture instantly and say, oh yeah, he's my match or she's my match or whatever?
Hershey,
Jay?
I don't have your channel. I can't post it.
What did you say? I'm sorry, Sherry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Jay, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would you judge a book by the cover?
Well, and especially like nowadays too, because like especially like when it comes to interacting online, people who aren't, are they say to be most of the time, because there's a lot of catfishes out there too. So when it comes to that, you really gotta discern people when it comes to in the dating scene, because someone could post like a picture of an avatar, it could look like they got like the biggest muscles, biggest body, but when you like eventually meet them in person, they're not who they say to be, and that could be pretty dangerous because it's really decepting. And it's just like when it comes to like even the dating scene too, just really getting to know someone, if you want to just like video call and just really having that kind of chat to chat, and eventually just when the time is right, just meet up with them too. So that really just breaks down kind of the barriers when it comes to really just talking to someone who's really actually who they are too, because sometimes people could post a picture and they could just say who they could portray something that they're not. So it's really just discerning that too, especially when it comes to dating. And I know that there's like I just want to say this too, like I just give props to the women who are just dealt with so many stuff too, because some guys are really cool, but sometimes most guys it's just like they say the most craziest stuff. They do all the kind of stuff too, and most of the times they get them in trouble too. So when it comes to that, even like because I'm a different generation than you guys, it's like nowadays it's like people use like Instagram, for example, as a way of like dating. Social media is just people get up in their DMs or all kind of stuff too. Even like excuse me, like with dating sites or even just like online platforms too. There's like a whole bunch of stuff too if you're like into particular things and just really connect with that. There's so many ways you could just date, but it doesn't have to be more than just like a dating site. It could be just like a online platform or community platform, and then you just talk with someone, and eventually if they are who they say they are, and you just really connect with them, and things really just go their way. But the other crazy stuff too is just like what you dealt with, Lisa. I was like, damn. And it's just like someone to watch your back. It's like, nope, that's like the block button's there for it too. And just like even with guys too experience this as well. It's just like they get like weird messages from other people. If it's like on Instagram, it's on Facebook, or even on YouTube too. That happened with me recently, like a couple of years ago. I had a stalker. I don't know if I told you this.
Yeah.
It was just like, what the hell saying my name for like that? It's like, who the hell is that? And I thought it was someone I know, because I don't put my business out like that. It's just like, and even Ron could test this too. It's like, who the hell is doing this shit? So it's like, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was like the time after my ex-girlfriend broke up with me too, for the weirdest reasons. I have nothing against her, but it was just so weird at the time of it. So yeah, it's just really discerned. It's really, when it comes to judging a book by its cover, to answer your question, Lisa, you really have to, unfortunately, because there's a lot of people who are deceptive online. So it's really
And I think that we discussed this before you came in. It's hard to you can find the most beautifulest person in the world, and they could be the most cruelest, hatefulest person inside. And you can't fall in love instantly by just the looks. But I did find myself, when I first started going on those dating sites, looking like, hey, I don't want to, he's in the gym or he's in the bar, he's holding a glass of beer. I don't want that clique. He must be an alcoholic. I was kind of like judging them like that. But some of the questions that I did send you guys was, what would be the deal breaker on a date or something? What, like I said, mine was somebody holding a glass of beer. And on the first instant thing, I was like, there's something wrong with going out and drinking and stuff. But I'm not a big, huge drinker. Does he go out and drink all the time? Does he, is he a bar guy?
Is the person a social drinker, or do they have a problem?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a social drinker. I might go have an alcohol. You could probably count on one hand in a year. But that's because, one, alcohol tends to make me sick if I drink more than one.
Mhm.
And two, I take a lot of prescription medications and a lot of pain medications for my back.
Mhm.
And alcohol and mixing alcohol with that is like a big no-no. And because it can literally make your heart stop. So it's like
Yeah.
if I know I'm going to go drink, I
Mhm.
don't take my medicine, my pain medication, so that I don't have to worry about it, kind of compensate. But I'm a one drink drinker. I mean, one drink, I'm done.
Mhm.
If I go for two, it's me in the commode the rest of the night, So
Yeah. Hello. Sorry. Hello,
I pay
Spirit Tribe
homage to the
Deborah.
personal goddess,
Mhm. Yeah. Exactly. How about you, Hershey?
What
What would be the
catfishing?
deal breaker?
Wait. Gerald's asking what is catfishing, and I missed that.
Yeah. What is catfishing? I was going to ask you that today.
Oh, it's
I didn't want.
like people who are just portraying someone that they're not. So it's kind of like someone just like online trying to be like some kind of like model, but
Fake identity.
So it's really deceptive too. So that's like when it comes to catfishing. They even have a show on it too on MTV. That's
Yeah.
I think it's still on that show.
They're intentionally deceiving someone
Yeah,
to
exactly.
to
Gotcha.
lure them into a situation. It's done with intent, deceit.
Mhm.
It's very cruel.
It
It's a
is. Yeah.
Well, it's like I met my late husband, granted the old-fashioned way. I worked with his roommate, and
Mhm.
that's how I met him. Because he came by the station one day. Actually worked at a gas station,
Mhm.
pumping gas and washing and waxing cars, and his roommate was one of the mechanics, and that's how I met him. And something kind of clicked the first time I met him, but I didn't, it's like I didn't really follow through on anything. I just thought he was kind of scary. He was a biker, and he's pulling up on his Harley with his long hair and his, blue jean jacket and cutoffs. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to get too close. And it was after several meetings that we kind of got to be friends. And it was one night, there was a group of us watching a movie. And it was a really sad, heartbreaking kind of movie. And when it gets to the end, when the main character dies, and and I'm sitting in this room and I'm like, okay, you're not gonna cry, you're not gonna cry, you're not gonna cry, because I'm a big crier in movies. And all of a sudden I hear somebody sobbing, and I'm like, who's crying? And I look over, and it was him, just
Mhm.
sobbing like a baby. He just couldn't stop it, and it was like in that instant, I fell in love with him. The
Yeah.
minute I saw, because it was like the veneer went away, and I saw into his soul at that moment that he would be that affected by a movie, you
Mhm.
know. And it just, I know other people when we were together in the beginning were like, really? And I was just be like, you just don't know him yet, Once you get
Yeah.
to know him, you'll meet the real person, because he put on this big macho bravado type thing, is
Mhm.
Mr. He-Man, and I used to fuss at him and say, stop that, just be you. It took a while, but it finally sunk in. But
Yeah.
if he was alive, we would be married. It'll be 40 years in July.
Yeah.
And I still feel married to him.
See, that's
I
the way
think
I
that's
am
one of
too.
the
I'm a
reasons
widow
why I
too.
date, because I still feel married.
Mhm.
I don't feel single,
Yeah.
just me.
He's
I
just
know,
sitting
yeah.
there in the other room. So yeah, I
And
completely agree,
I mean, and
Sherry.
that doesn't mean that tomorrow I don't walk into Albertsons
And the
and meet just the right person that I could fall in love with again
yeah,
and
I
get
want to
married
be happy
again.
again. I'm not saying about getting married or anything. I'm just saying I just want somebody for romance or something. I'm not talking about sex either. I just want somebody to be there for me.
A companion.
Someone to hold my
Companionship.
hand while I'm puking my guts out after chemotherapy or something, and just
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's a nightmare, and you can't really say that online. I mean, you can't really say, hey, I had cancer once, and yes, I went through treatments and stuff. Will you be there for me? Will you be there to shave my mustache when I get old? because I'm old now. So will you
Oh,
be
he
there
wasn't
when I
allowed
can't
to
do
shave
that?
his mustache.
Shave my mustache or my beard. Mine.
Oh, yeah.
Because
No, my
when we
husband
get
wasn't
older,
allowed
we
to
get
shave
those
his
little
mustache
chin
or
whiskers,
beard.
or we get this. Can
I
you
have a
get
graceful
me
facial
stuff
hair.
like
It's like, no, he wasn't. The few times he shaved his face clean, it's like, you're not
Yeah.
even going to get kissed until it grows back. So just
Yeah.
stay away from me.
Now, Hershey, what would your deal breaker be?
So I believe in, just being upfront and honest, and I usually put the worst parts of me out front so that people can make their own conclusion if I am somebody that they even want to consider. And I usually ask the craziest question ever, but I ask a question and I ask somebody to tell me something about one of their darkest times. And there's a look that people naturally have, and those that aren't ashamed or judgmental or easily influenced don't have this look, but those that do have this look. And when I see this one certain look, I absolutely know that's like a huge red flag for me. And I start immediately like, okay, where was my exit? You said to the left and 2 steps over. Yeah, like I'm literally already planning it. Like it's not going nowhere. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Hershey, is this the look?
I'm sorry?
Is this the look?
The look. Thomas's look.
It's similar. It's similar. That falls in the pie. Yes, that's one of the the pie is quite large, and there's lots of practical pieces that go with the look. Yes, that's one of them.
Thomas, what's your deal breaker?
Yes, Gerald. Yes. I hear me roar. Yes.
I don't know. I'm in a different demographic here.
Popcorn?
No,
you're not.
No, don't tell me about popcorn. That's a trigger.
I told you, popcorn.
If you, I guess, if I stumbled and fell, and you look at me and say, "We'll get up." I have some troubles walking. So
yeah. So if somebody told you just to get up, it'd be like, "You're out of here, buddy. Why ain't you helping me?" Right? Yeah.
You got muscles, use them.
Yeah.
Burly guy.
Or if you fall and somebody, don't offer or starts laughing at you, of course you're going to laugh afterwards, but after your ass is up off the ground.
Well, right. I'm going to make sure you're okay, but then I might not be able to help myself because
I might be laughing my butt off while I'm hoping you get up. But
exactly.
Well, I could understand if our first date was roller skating or something. Of course, I'm going to be on the ground.
Yeah. See, that would be my next question. What would you, where would you like to go on a first date? Where would you go? Now, Deborah said a couple places that was really good was a coffee shop and supermarket is where to meet somebody. But a coffee shop, Jay, would that be a good place to go? Would it be, where would you go?
It really depends on your people's interests. So it's kind of like, if you're dating someone and you guys have like similar interests, you go to a coffee shop. If you want to go like a comic book store, if you want to go to anywhere that just makes you guys, feel comfortable being yourself. So it's kind of like it could be anywhere from a coffee shop. It could be, anywhere to, even if it's like stuff that you guys love to do. So it's kind of like if you guys have similar, hobbies or interests, and you guys feel comfortable just doing it. It's like, hey, let's do such and such, and just really make it a fun date. And you guys could really, people can really gain something from it, and you guys get to know each other on a beautiful level. So that's from my own expertise, because
something I used to like to do would be like go to the zoo or go to the park and just walk around where you can talk and take in. You're still in public, so the safety factor. And unfortunately today, especially as a woman, you have to stop and think about the safety factor.
Or a man, anybody. There's safety factors that you have to go and do.
Now, that's something I used to like to do that I can't do anymore because I can't walk
Mhm.
distances anymore, Um, just from here to out front to where my car used to sit to get in the car um, was taxing, so
Mhm.
I don't go anywhere without my cane now because I'll
Yeah.
fall on my ass if I don't have it. Um, I used to really enjoy going to um, kind of what we would call jazz clubs back in the day. It's not loud music. You're not getting blasted out of the room.
Mhm.
It's usually either um, played music through an intercom system, or there might be a live band that's just, piano, drums, maybe a couple of horns, but they're not playing loud. You can sit at a table and have a cocktail and talk to somebody and
Mhm.
actually hear what the other person's saying, you know. And
Exactly.
again, you're still in a public venue, so you're not secluded, although it gives you a sense of privacy when you're in a place like that. Coffee
Yeah.
shop, coffee shops are very much like that now. I mean, I enjoy going sitting in a coffee shop just to go people watch. I just like to go watch and see who comes and goes, and you know, I don't have to interact with anybody. I've turned into a voyeur.
Yeah.
So I guess
Hershey, go ahead, honey.
I like what Terrell said. What Gerald said.
Mhm.
Um,
Hi, Miss Gerald D. Yeah.
Hi, my love. How are you today?
I would say I would prefer I without sounding like a weirdo, I would prefer the cover of Darkness. Me and the sun don't get along, so it would have to be somebody that has a night owl perceptive, and I want to go somewhere where I can look up at the sky, maybe take a picnic basket and a blanket and some fuzzy socks,
Mm-hmm.
and if we got wine or a thermos of coffee, it makes no never mind to me as long as the conversation is lifting, it's not negative, and the awkward silence is comfortable.
Yeah. And you, Thomas?
I guess for like a first date, since I don't drive, I'd want to know if they would take me to the metaphysical shop and we could look at crystals.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah.
And
Yep. I would do that.
go get palms read, and I could throw some cards and read on him.
Yeah.
Now,
That sounds like fun.
if things were getting more serious, then I would do a 4-day cruise with them, because you want to try out.
Ooh, you jump right in there, Thomas, with the cruise.
I'm no spring chicken.
Yeah.
Give me
I agree, Gerald.
Give me the U-Haul truck, and let's go.
Yep, I'm with you.
That's another thing, Jay. We're all past not our expiration date, but we're all above the mark where we're not in our 20s anymore, and we're not in our 30s. We have false teeth. We have
gray hair,
everything like that. We can't walk half the time. That's all different for all of us. But I think a movie, Gerald, would be kind of like you couldn't talk. I kind of like what Sherry said. She said that you need some place that you can actually talk to someone. Now, I watched all these shows this week because I did a lot of
going to the beach.
Research. I watched Must Love Dogs. I love that movie, but I don't look like those women in those movies. I watch.
Nobody looks like those women in those movies.
Yeah, I watched Love and Sex, and I even watched the one with Jack Nicholson and Keanu Reeves in it. I can't remember what it is, where she's like crying, and she's like, I thought that the sex, that part of my life was completely over. My God, I can't even imagine getting undressed in front of anybody anymore.
Oh yeah, with Diane Keaton, I think it is,
yes.
where she's dating the younger guy and
Yeah.
the younger woman is dating the older guy, and
Yeah.
that's a good movie.
It's
I don't
like,
know if I know it.
I wouldn't leave Keanu Reeves for Jack Nicholson, but come on, people.
I'm telling you, but you know what? He's
I'm back.
dating
As
Keanu
wolf
Reeves, the
tendencies, I
actor.
think I like the wolf tendency.
The actor himself, Keanu Reeves. Now he's in his mid-50s.
Oh, he's 60.
Is he up to 60? I know he was close to my
59, I
age,
think 59 or 60, yeah.
yeah. And he's actually dating a woman that he met through an art project thing where there was like
they did a book together. He was in
art, yeah, and they worked on a project together, and that's how they met. Now she's his age.
Yeah.
And she's like us. She has gray hair and wrinkles and looks like a normal, everyday woman in her 60s. And they just look adorable together. Good. And when they first couple of times they went out in public, did a red carpet or something, there were people who actually were like, oh, is that your mother? And he was like, why would you even say that? I mean, she's my age.
Because she's all gray hair, yeah.
Because she doesn't dye her hair and dress like a 20-year-old, She dresses like a 60-year-old woman would dress, fashionable, comfortable. I mean, because once we get to a certain age, fashion takes a back seat to comfort,
Yeah. That's what Gerald said about rule of dating. I don't know any of that, Gerald. I am the type of person, I am the old school that the gentleman or whoever asked you out on the date should pay for it. Not go Dutch. Now, Jay just left, but I know nothing about things like that. I'm the type, and I would like a guy to open the car door for me or open the door as they come in, just to be kind and courteous to each other. And
it's just called good manners.
Yes. And I'm terrified. And as far as Miss Taro D, the last date actually I went on, it was pizza on the floor because his apartment didn't have any furniture in it. And we ate pizza and we actually drank soda because I was really sick with a strep throat or something and I was on medication. But yeah, I remember that. And that was the best date I was on because we could sit there and we could talk and we could eat pizza. And I went home. I was going to say in the morning when I went home. Actually, the man I'm talking about is a man I first dated when I was 16 years old. So I knew him before that. It wasn't like I just picked him up and went home.
Well, why not? Yeah. That's acceptable too. I mean,
See, that's it too. What about one night stands and everything?
All ages do booty calls. I mean,
I'm not into the booty call thing. The last 2 relationships I was in, my husband, I was married to him for 18 years. And the last relationship that ended last year, I was with him for 17. So I've been with someone since I was 16 years old. It's just, I have no clue on what to do. Actually stayed until 3 a.m. There you go.
I've done rent to own. I've done long term. I've done short.
What is rent to own?
Well, the ones that you see potential, but no matter how much you put into them, you never get them off. It never pays out in the long run.
I'm going to take him out for a test drive.
Right. I've tried the friends with benefits. I've had the one night stands, but somehow the drawers always got stuck and it never worked, or somebody's involved. I think that I was meant to experience everything, oh my God, did you really just say that? And I'm like, yeah, that really happened. And they're like, she can't make that shit up. You know, and I find the way that
some of us are laughing because we've done it too.
Look for that, and it's like I need to know: are you this, and if all I hear is a whole bunch of no's, then I'm already knowing like I am going to be able to call bullshit on everything you say in the next 35 seconds because I've been there, done it, and it's not. It's exhausting.
That's a good thing that you just brought up, because do you take them back to your place or do you go to their place?
Oh, I don't want the wet spot in my bed, so no, they can do all the cleanup.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or better yet,
how do you leave?
To be honest.
I guess you could leave.
Go in a hotel
better
room
if
for
you
the
went to
night,
their
and
place.
then you don't have to worry
I mean,
about
I just don't want
anybody
the
knowing where
after.
you live. So
Right.
That's true. That's
Stalker,
true.
I don't want any of that. So they can have all that, and they can keep it, and they can't have my phone number either, because half the time I can't remember it myself. So
That's true.
We'll see each other when we see each other, if that's how it's supposed to be. It's whatever the universe has in mind.
yeah.
So that was one of my questions too. What is code for sex? I mean,
Energy.
yeah, but if some guy's like coming on to you, how do you tell when somebody's coming on to you like that?
Energy.
I mean, I'll tell you, and Thomas knows this story, and some of you may know this story. I went out on a date after my husband passed away, and I invited him to the house to watch a movie. And I walked out to the kitchen, and this is the popcorn thing between me and Thomas.
Really do.
I went to get popcorn, come back, and he was naked in my living room.
Oh, he definitely wanted some.
And all I did was invite him to come over and watch a movie. Now, did I do something wrong? Was there code in the popcorn or something?
Well, I think he took that as Netflix and chill. That means that you go on to the next episode. You don't just stop at the end of the pilot in the cliffhanger. They sit there and go through the whole season with you. So yeah, they probably misread the situation, but yeah, it's all about clarity. And if the energy is there, I don't put myself in a box, a title, or limitations. But if I can tell instantly that it's just not going there, no matter what, then I shut it down immediately. Like, you realize that you will not see me after tonight. And if you do, it's because we simply cross paths. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't waste my time with it. Like, I feel like I'm not on a time clock, but I'm no spring chicken, and we're not going to go through the whole rodeo thing. I don't have time for it.
Yeah, I was so shocked that I dropped the popcorn. It went all over the floor, and I started laughing. And he put his clothes back on, sat in the chair, and I sat on the couch. I mean, it was like, oh God. I don't know what I did.
Warm, you should have said something how to turn the air conditioner on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a good one, Sherry. And one time my son's, I know he don't like me talking about him, but his refrigerator was going out and his ice cream was melting. So the repairman come in, and I said, would you like some ice cream? And he sit there and talked to me for a long time after that, eating his ice cream. And then when my son got home, he's like, why is the repairman still here? And I said, oh, he fixed the thing, and I offered him ice cream. Don't you ever do that, Mother. He said, that is code for sex. I was like, it was melting. What do you want me to do?
When they get to talking in all them nowadays technologies, and I don't get it, I just get my favorite thing is like I let my AI brain take over, and I'm just sitting there buffering, not understanding, not computing, it's not registering. It doesn't make sense. Whatever you're doing, it's not happening. So stop.
So Miss Tarot D says code for sex is high.
Hello. Oh, is it now?
Well, some people, yeah, that's all you got to do is say hello, or accept a friend request on Facebook. And the next thing you know, it's like there's been a few, gentlemen that looked fairly decent from their Facebook pages, and so I accepted their friend request, and usually within a couple of hours I'm unfriending them because it's like they go off into this other person's like, okay, no, this is not
exactly. It's weird.
I know one guy. I finally said, "Look," I said, "I only date gay men."
Well, we have
And he
something
looked
in
at me
common
and he was
here.
like, "That doesn't make any sense." And I said, "Sure it does." I said, "Because that means I can go out and have a good time and I don't have to worry about anything."
Maybe it's because the ice cream flowing was some kind of weird code. I mean, he's 38 years old and I have no clue. I mean, it's just, hi, Wendy. I just was like, it was melting. I just decided to give him some ice cream. And what do you want me to throw it out? So, yeah.
Ice
How
cream.
is that, Jay? We're
You
talking
mean
about codes now. And one was popcorn. I went out and got some popcorn, and the guy was naked when I came back into the living room. And the other one was giving a repairman some ice cream because it was melting out of the freezer. And that was
ice
the code
cream?
too. Yeah. So what is that code for something?
Well, the only thing I heard from with the code with ice cream is I don't know if you the movie Scarface. I don't know. That's the first thing I ever heard. But when it comes to codes, honestly, I don't really know that because like most of the times, like when it comes to what I've heard from other people dating, it's just like they're really upfront about it too, especially nowadays too, which is really kind of bold for dudes to really say that. So it's kind of like if someone even like with the opposite sex, like and they want to just have a good time with you too, and you're just like, hey, I want to have sex with you, let's do this and that. They even get like dates too, which is really mind blowing. It's like especially like when it comes to men who prefer women too, it's like, the fuck? Did you say you want to have sex with me? And you just look at yourself like, what the fuck?
Right.
It's just like, it's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So
Yeah.
code words, it's kind of like, Netflix and chill. That's probably another one too. I'm not sure. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
that's what I was talking about. As soon as I
Yeah,
hear
Netflix
that, I'm
and
talking
chill
about
probably the most
deactivating
fucking
my account and shit, and I don't know what you. No, no, what?
Let
No.
me share a little story here. I was married at the time. I was a good 30, 35 years younger. My son was a toddler. I was a good 100 pounds lighter. And we lived and worked at one of those rent by the hour hotels. My husband did the maintenance, and I worked up in the office. And it was my day off, and I had walked with my son, wanted to get a soda pop out of the Coke machine. And
Mhm.
so we're standing at the Coke machine. I'm putting in the money, letting him, push the button for what Coke he wants.
Mhm.
And behind me, I hear, "Hey, baby, what's your price?" And I turned around, and it was this guy in this black Cadillac. I mean, expensive suit, the whole bit. And I remember turning around and looking at him, and I said, "I'm sorry, did you see a for sale sign attached to me somewhere?" And he was like, well, yeah, but you were standing there. I said, "I'm standing here with my son getting him a Coke. How does that translate to what's my price?"
Yeah. Because you were standing on the street.
I wasn't on the street. I was on the damn sidewalk
Yeah.
in front of the office.
That's
And
just
he
weird.
just got flustered, and he turned around and drove off. And I went back, and I was just laughing about it. Of course, my son was like 3 or 4 at the time. He was like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you when you get older, And by that time, my husband walked in, and he proceeds to tell his daddy, "This man rolled up and said, da, 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 da." I thought my husband was going to have a cow. He was like, "Where's that son of a bitch at? I'm going to go get him right now."
Well, all
I'm like,
these
"Baby,
dating
he's
sites,
gone."
all these dating sites that I went on this week, have just been so weird. Even some of the questions like, what's your theory on marijuana smoke, smoking marijuana, which is kind of good. I don't, but I'm not.
If you enjoy it, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. If it helps, it helps. Some of the other questions were, let's see.
I can't
What's your
partake because I
political
work for the
view?
state.
Which
So
my political view is very strong on some circumstances, and I know I would not go with anybody else like that. So that was a good question. just some of the, just it was weird. Just some really, really weird marijuana, ethnicity, religion, languages that you speak. Why would you? Why? I guess if you wanted to hook up with somebody who spoke a different language, I guess that would be a good one. Schooling. I don't care if you went to high school, grade school, college or whatever. Maybe I do, I guess, because like I say, I seen a couple pictures and I swiped left because I didn't like the fact that they were all dressed up in a suit. Like they were trying to, like you said, Jay, catfish or Hershey. Catfish me, like standing in front of a sports car. Okay, so I learned back in the day, and this is back from the 70s, if you had a fancy car, that meant you had a little penis. A penis. I don't know if I can say that.
You were compensating.
You're compensating. Exactly, right. Sherry. See, she knew what I meant. So it's like
there are other things too that would give that away.
I'd rather see somebody in a pickup truck, or that's more my style, in a t-shirt. I'd love a man in a white t-shirt. I don't know why, but I do. But it's got to be a t-shirt or something like that. My dad always said never marry a construction worker because he was a construction worker his entire life and he knew what the kind of people that he worked with. So that was out of the question. But yeah, I mean, does clothes matter? Does
It depends how you wear it.
Some people put a lot of emphasis into how you present yourself. Same with the education question. If you have someone that's say a master's or a PhD or beyond, so they're really smart. Now they may not be very common sense, street smart, but they're very cerebral in how they look at things and discuss things. And they don't want to sit and spend an evening with someone with a second grade reading level. They want to talk to somebody kind of on the same level as them. So I get that, I know, and some people who maybe don't have the education, they're hoping to hook up with someone that does, because that means, they're going to make better money because they're smart, so there's different ways of looking at it. But I think with a lot of people,
I guess it's an individual taste.
Gerald put it well when he said, you can find someone if you expect to find someone.
Yeah.
I think part of the whole process is, do I find, am I looking for someone that I can truly relate to, that I can be a companion with? Because that's what most people who get, whether if they actually get married, or not, that have a long-term relationship, they're looking for someone that they're going to grow old with, someone that's going to be their companion later in life when there is no more hanky-panky in the kitchen, so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for a booty call, or are you looking for a companion?
Yeah, I completely agree, Gerald, about if they smile. Yes. Mine is the touch, and you can see in their eyes. I'm a big eye person. If they have beautiful eyes, I just absolutely know. And I don't go any farther. And that's why I always joke about Johnny Depp and stuff, because yeah, is he going to be able to accept the fact that I have a shrine to Johnny Depp behind me? It's just weird. Now,
hey, my husband was in love with Adrienne Barbeau.
I even drink from a Johnny Depp cup. Okay, so yeah. Is he going to accept that? Hershey, you started laughing, and I see you just shaking your head, honey. What's your thought on that?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believe that you are human and you can fantasize about any other human or entity you choose to. And if they can't accept that, then they are not meant for you.
See, I think everybody has a freebie list. I don't care. No matter if you're married or if you're in a relationship.
Like I said, my late husband was in love with Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah.
That woman could do no wrong. If she was on TV, he was watching it. I mean,
if they sit there and they act like they've never had a wet dream or a fantasy, or if I was married and madly in love with you and XYZ walked in here and said, for whatever reason, I want to do this and this and this, guess who's going to do this, this, and this? How many opportunities in life will I ever get if this ever happened? Now, granted, that is a very stretched bucket list fantasy, but I'm not going to cut off my life experience because you're mad that it didn't happen because your fantasy didn't walk through the door, but I'm not going to lose mine. I mean, I'm just being honest. If they can't accept that, that is not my problem. That is theirs.
Naughty boy, Gerald. Naughty boy.
Well, Thomas, you've been awfully quiet. What is your freebie list?
Well, I've been chatting
he's
over
discussing
here.
little blue pills in the chat.
Yeah. Why is Thomas so quiet?
Because he stayed up all night.
When I put in there, when it's two guys, we flip the coin to see who takes the little blue pill, and Gerald says, why not both of you? And it's like, I'm only good for one sweaty routine, and then I have to nap, Gerald.
So I'm having like Harlem Night flashes when they're laying in the bed and he says, how about we just go real hard for 35 minutes?
More like
35
35
minutes.
seconds.
And she wants to go all night and into the next morning and not talk about the sun, but he's like, I'll give you 35 minutes of everything I got. So I understand.
And that's a lie, because if he lasts for 35 minutes, I'll eat my hat.
Right.
Well, that's why I want to
That's
take
when you're very glad that God made batteries.
All right. Well, you know, it happens. If the batteries run out, you better hope for, a cord. It might be a little old fashioned, but, some of them do have cords.
Why do the lights dim about 10:30 each night?
Yours is a plug-in, huh?
Kickstarter.
What's that? That Febreze or whatever commercial? The plug it in. It's just the ring.
Oh my gosh. Now, Jay, are we embarrassing you? Because you're the youngest of the crowd. I was actually going to have a couple
this is
more.
Fun. I haven't had this much fun in a while. This is excellent.
Crazy old people.
Jay
You
will
can see
twerk
us in the
online if you
nursing
ask him
home.
and pay him enough. I mean,
What'd you say, Lisa?
You could see us in the nursing home chasing each other. The thing in our
Pinching people's asses, talking about tag.
Woo, baby!
Hey, at least you guys are having
Mama.
fun. That's keeping me young. So hey, let's
When
cheer
you
up.
get past 45, you can't do anything but have fun with it. And if you can't have fun with it, then you don't need to be enjoying.
Yeah,
Like
that's
some of them,
facts.
some of those questions too were like, "Would you like to have kids?" Honey, I'm 58 years old. I
Oh
can't
no,
have kids anymore.
I don't even want my grandkids unless I
I love
want them.
children. I like children. I love children. I love having them around and stuff. But nope, I can't have any kids.
I only love them as long as I can give them back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there you go. There you go. I want to love on them when I want them, but I got a whole life to live. I did my job. I raised you. You got through high school. You're in your own. You're paying your own. You got your own back. You gotta learn like I gotta learn. So
Yeah. I love sushi. Exactly. And I just I don't know. It's crazy. I've even the thought of going out there again, people automatically when they seen this live today, they thought, oh, Lisa's gonna go out and start dating again and stuff. I'm just looking, I'm getting kind of used to being by myself and stuff and being single. But I
enjoy
just
being
want to know
single.
what kind of things are different out there nowadays. It's so scary. It's like Jay said, you got COVID. And they did ask that too. What was your COVID opinion? Were you vaccinated or not? It's like, okay, yeah, of course I was vaccinated. Maybe that had something to do with political. Maybe that had something to do with the fact that they want to make sure they're safe, from COVID. But that was just a weird question too on those dating sites. And
I would have failed that one.
That? I mean, what if somebody said, no, I haven't been vaccinated? What would be your opinion, Thomas?
I'm not vaccinated, so what's your opinion?
Well, I have a politically opposed roommate, so I guess, to each their own, but I've got medical problems, and I've probably got 5 jabs in me total right now.
Yeah. Hershey, you're not vaccinated?
Absolutely not. Nope, I am not.
I'm
And I
vaccinated.
never tested positive ever, not one time.
Yeah.
And I had the common cold several times.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. And it's due to my medical team and my family actually weighing and making out lists because of health reasons and just me, myself, and my mental clarity. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I'm healthy for my situation and my.
Hello, Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm vaxxed and boosted, but I have, like Hershey was saying, I've got extenuating medical issues. I have to make sure that that I'm staying healthy. I mean, my household is me. It's my son who just turned 39. It's my brother and his son who's getting ready to turn 18. But my nephew was born with a heart condition. 8 days old, he had to have open heart surgery. So I got vaxxed and boosted more for his safety than my own, because it was like, I don't want to get something and bring it home and give it to my nephew whose body may not be able to withstand that disease,
Yeah.
That and the fact that it's more than just, protect yourself from a vaccine, but it's also a general community health thing. The more people that get vaccinated, the less chance there is of it spreading or mutating. Part of the problem we've had with the mutations has been because so many people didn't get vaccinated. Now, there are people who have extenuating circumstances for whatever reason. They can't get vaccinated. And that's cool. I understand that. I have no issue with that. There are some people for personal or religious reasons that didn't get vaccinated. That's cool too. I mean, to each his own. But you have to take into account those around you if you choose not to get vaccinated from something that's killing people left and right. Then, you want to make sure that at least then you're not in a situation where you could expose somebody else.
I just want to reiterate, I know people on that same conversation. I just want to say I did definitely do all my homework, but like she was saying, it's saving a lot of people, and I totally support anybody's decision on it. But I personally know 3 people that aren't in my life anymore because they were vaccinated and boosted, and
I still got it. I was vaxxed and boosted, and I still
lost the battle to COVID. You know what I'm saying?
I got COVID last year on my birthday.
Literally, I can see both sides of that very, very edgy coin. So I'm honest with people when I say that I don't, and those that do have it, if they don't want me in their presence, I can't do anything but honor and respect that. And I wish more people had that outlook instead of the mind frame of it's whatever, and they get very boisterous and ignorant about it. But I mean,
if you have problems with it, for a political reason, then okay, we might have issues here because that's just stupid.
Yeah, religion,
in my opinion,
I agree with, right?
But I mean, there are people who have religious and emotional reasons for it, or maybe medical reasons for it.
Mine's strictly medical, right?
Yeah,
right.
You have to take all that into consideration. You can't.
So
condemn someone because
you're both saying it. You have to take in consideration of what the other person's condition.
Absolutely,
more or less.
Right.
And I got vaxxed and boosted.
Everybody, right?
I did the whole shebang, and I still got COVID. Now, because I was vaxxed and boosted, I prevented myself being in a hospital
Right.
because
Right.
I didn't get as sick as I would have gotten. But I have a cousin, she and her husband both got it back in the beginning, who both refused to get vaccinated for political reasons. And then they
Yeah.
both got COVID. Now, she was well enough to be sent back home. He went straight into ICU and breathing tubes, and we didn't know if he was going to live or die. And he was like that for months. It's been almost a year and a half, 2 years now. He's got long-term COVID. He still walks around with an oxygen.
Yeah.
And it'll never, because
It's a
it did so
horrible,
much
but
damage.
that
to
just
his
shocked
lungs.
me that was on a dating website of what you would do, you know,
Yeah.
if you did or not. And I went on like 4 of them. I went on Match, I went on Zoosk, I went on Bumble, I went on Plenty of Fish. What is a website, Jay, that you would go on that you'd actually, you know, condone? Because I had seen a lot of people hooking up through dating websites, you know, that actually worked.
True. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Ms. Carol D is right, because there have been a lot of people in the past who have used vaccines as a means of controlling or experimenting on others, you know, and so that's where you have to be very careful. We're part of, you know, actually looking into it. My mind goes back to when smallpox was very prevalent.
We all had to have vaccines.
I
in
had
school.
friends who got it and died. And I
Yeah.
remember I think it was 2nd grade, we literally were all lined up in the hallway one day at school. Every kid, there was no questions. You couldn't say no. And there was 2 nurses and a doctor that just went down the line and just boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Everybody got vaccinated. But we eradicated smallpox pretty much. Now it's made a comeback because of the amount of people today that aren't vaccinated from childhood diseases.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of like Deborah's saying right now. We're at the point where we are having to start to think about our health more.
Sure.
I mean, when we were 20 and 30s, I wouldn't have thought twice about, oh, heck no. Why would I care, you know? But yeah, we're at that age where we have to start thinking about health issues and things like that and how people are going to affect our health. Now, Jay, with you, like I said, what would be something? Would you say yes or no on those kinds of questions on dating sites? Because, like I said, there's a lot of people I know that have met their match on dating sites, but there are a lot out there that's crazy.
For me, I mean, I wouldn't have any problem answering those questions because it's kind of like, you know, just getting to know someone.
Natural. I mean, are we to the point? I'm sorry, honey. Are we to the point where we have to have a medical history sheet with us to carry around us all the time?
That's just, you don't have to go that far. It's just like when it comes to just like, you know, getting to know someone and just really, you know, get to know them like truly. It's just like, you know, it's with those questions. To me, I don't see there's like much of a problem. I mean, it's just like, you know, especially when it comes to like, you know, oh gosh, now I keep thinking about it. Just when it things seem right now, just like when it comes to my demographics, it's just like sometimes people ask questions when it comes to, you know, if you like they say they want to hook up with someone, right? They want to just do the nasty or just Netflix and chill or wherever that may be. They always want to know their COVID questions or they have any kind of like other stuff too that they're going through. And it's just like, you know, I get it. Just because you want to just make sure people are healthy. You want to have like anything affect your health is, like, you know, nowadays, because like, you know, even because nowadays too, like people are just like, you know, they just want to just be upfront and just really, you know, to say, hey, I want to just chill out with you. And chilling out could mean just, you know, a whole different things. It could be from just, you know, from twerking to Netflix and shit. I don't know what the heck it is nowadays, but
what's twerking?
I mean, seriously, it's like it's like so many crazy stories.
Is that kind of hooking up? Is twerking hooking up?
It's a dance, but I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I know it's a dance, but I didn't know if it was code for we're just gonna hook up and have a one night stand.
With
well, it kind of pantomimes the act. So
okay, all righty, all right.
You want to throw it back? That's
and
cool.
See, even the emojis, I don't know anything about emojis and stuff like that. Hershey, you're just laughing in the background. I can see you, honey, and you just. What is your opinion on twerking and things like that?
Well, I mean, obviously it's dancing and it can be provocative or it can be sexy as hell. It's all in the presentation of it. I worked as a bartender for 12 years, and 8 of those 12 years I worked in entertainment clubs, and I've never stood on stage and I've never touched a pole unless I was cleaning it. But I can tell you from being a head bartender, the range of levels of dating, it's becoming so shallow, and I know that's probably the worst word ever to use, but nobody is genuinely authentic with it anymore. To me, it's all about hurry up and separate it into this category or this category or this category. And instead of just legitly taking the time, I've dated women, I've dated men, I've married men, I've never married a woman. Well, depends on what you mean. Like on paper, I never married a woman, but spiritually, I did a hand fasting ritual with a woman before. So I've connected with soulmates, twin flame. I don't want to do the questionnaires. I don't do a lot of like dating sites. I found out somebody had used my picture on one at one point and was pretending to be me. And I did the Facebook dating thing by pure coincidence one day. And after so many bleep pics, I just removed myself from that situation because I don't want to see your genitals unless I'm inviting those genitals to be a part of mine. And you know, I don't move that quickly. You know, if I move quickly, it's in conversation, and I want to see the action, and you just don't see it anymore. So to me, I just stay away from it. It's a headache. It's a hassle, and I don't have time because the dumb fuckery is going to get on my nerves, and I'm going to turn into a parental person and be like, you should know, and I just find myself staying away from it.
Yeah, it's what do you do? I didn't even know they had a Facebook dating site.
I didn't know either. I literally looked up on it going through trying to find my marketplace one day and clicked on what I thought was the marketplace. But apparently the heart thing is dating, Facebook dating or whatever. And I went down the rabbit hole for curiosity's sake, but it was gross. It was gross. I needed a shower when I got done, and I never even got off my phone. Like, it was disgusting, in my opinion.
How can they show stuff like that on Facebook?
I mean, it's Facebook Messenger. I mean, it goes through the Messenger app somehow, but it's through the Meta system, which is, you know, far more AI than I ever want to be. So I can't tell you how many loopholes and dragon holes intertwined to make it a process, but all those other dating sites, I've actually never tried them. I prefer the actual human contact, and it's all about energy for me. And wherever your energy's at, I'm gonna match it, but it'll also let me know where in our walk you're gonna stay, either on the path, or we're gonna find a beaten path, or we're gonna find a hidden path, or we're gonna go find a barn somewhere. I mean, you know, but I won't.
Or just bend over and look out. Here it comes.
Right. It's all about the contact and the energy. And it needs to be genuinely there, and it's not there when you're speed dating through a whole bunch of jumping in and out of raindrops to figure out which category you fit in. I'm not going to fit in none, and then I'm going to fit in all of them at the same damn time. So it's literally redundant to me. It's annoying.
So Thomas, what have you tried dating sites or anything like that? I mean, there's tons of dating sites out there, and you can pick and choose if you want to just have sex, if you just want a long-term relationship, or what. It's
traditional dating site, no. Hookup site, yes. But then, when I let people know up front that I'm damaged goods and I don't get around much anymore. And I have a feeling that Sherry here is a player.
Player.
No, never was.
and
I
I'm sure-
had friends who were, but I would go hang with them, but I really didn't. I mean, my best times were I had a good friend who was gay, and I would go to the gay clubs with him because I could then dance all night, and I didn't have to worry about this
guys
octopus arms trying to shove his hands down my pants, or or somebody's spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, coming over and getting all pissed off because they're dancing with me because they all knew me, and they all knew, oh, she's straight, we can go dance with her, and their boyfriends didn't care, and I just had a ball. So
Jay, do they still go to clubs like that? Is there clubs like that? I haven't been to a bar in a long time.
I don't go out to clubs anymore. I can't handle the level of noise in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as I've gotten older, I enjoy crowds, but at a distance. I don't want to be slap dab in the middle of them where I can tell if you took a shower today or not.
I would be out of breath the first dance. I would be so out of breath after the first dance.
I can't physically do that kind of stuff anymore. I mean, I used to dance. I used to go out dancing every damn night of the week if I could. I loved to dance.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
I was a big time dancer, but no, I haven't been able to dance since I got injured. And I mean, I can chair dance, kind of bebop in the chair.
Yeah, the chair dance. I can
do. And I decided we're going to start a cocktail club on my bed in the back.
Yeah, so the dating scene is different now too, and it's just
right now. I think the dog's on my bed in the back.
Jay,
the
dance scene was really different now.
Yeah, from my experience, because like the club scene, because when I was younger, I was like 18 or 19. I used to work at this hotel and casino, and there's this club called Silk, and there's people are just dancing, all kind of stuff too. There's like a whole bunch of stuff with the with the people trying to come in with fake IDs and all that. It was really crazy. So it's like, wow. But then just jump into it's crazy to jump into a few years later now too. It's just like the club scene is totally different, especially after and just like now people nowadays like to just do things that just really just freaking seem so simple. It's kind of like, like for example, let's say someone loves to dance and they just want to just, express themselves too. There's like this like events called like ecstatic dancing. You just go to certain places, you go with a group of people and you just really have a good time too. No matter if you're gay, no matter if you're straight, just go to the ball, have a good time. And if you want to go on a date too. So when it comes to that, I mean, I've been to so many ecstatic dances and all kind of stuff too. It's really cool too. So it's kind of like, just really finding something that you really just feel is comfortable to you, that floats your boat.
So is it EDM music?
Something like that. It's like a mixture. So it could be like that. It could be a mixture of like, techno and a little bit hip hop. It could be like a mix of
it's like house or something, like what they call like house music, right?
A little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, I didn't even know what that meant, Thomas. So that's how far out I am into the world. I guess I've isolated myself a lot here lately.
I wouldn't have known anything unless Sherry had told me.
Yeah.
Before we went live.
Yeah. And that's why I'm having today lunchtime laughter with Lisa, because the simple fact that a lot of us don't know. I mean, even in the chat and stuff, we've been married or we got divorced. Now, would that bother you too? A lot of the men that I looked up, they said they've never been married and they're in their 60s. Okay, so why is that? That was a red flag. Some of the red flags that I did point out, like if you've never been in a long-term relationship or married, maybe they were in a long-term relationship. They've never been married. Why haven't they never been married? Are they afraid of commitment?
Well, maybe they've got an older parent that they had to move back in with and take care of.
Well, that's true.
Or, maybe they weren't married, but they got stuck with the kids, after a mistake in high school, and grandma and grandpa helped out while they work.
Or maybe they were burnt too many times. Who knows?
True.
Twice bitten. Maybe they didn't want to do it anymore. But it just seems like that. There's so many.
And some people get so wrapped up in their careers and whatever their career may be, that in a lot of respects they become married to their job and what they do, to the point that they kind of shut themselves off to more personal relationships just because they stay focused on what it is that they're doing for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the flip side of that, where you have others who get married with every person that smiles at them, and so they've got, a dozen exes that they're paying alimony to or whatever.
Yeah, but they've never been married, so they wouldn't have exes unless they were. Is common law marriage still a thing?
In some states.
What state you're in.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's kind of weird too. I remember I had an aunt who was common law married, and she had to get a divorce before she could get married again. So it's like, that's weird.
Yeah.
She found out when she was getting her marriage license. She's like, "You're common law married. You have to get a divorce before you can get married to this other gentleman." It's like, wow. I've only been married once, until death do us part, and it's just strange.
You didn't kill him. It was the ALS.
Yeah, I know. But I always tell people I killed him with sex, so it eases that pain.
Then he died happy.
Yeah. He died happy. Too much
Yeah,
sex.
you gotta go. That's probably the best way,
Right.
Go out with a smile on your face.
I was 38 years old too then, and when he passed away, so it was like I was still kind of active, into having a life. And he actually said before he passed away, he wanted me to go on with life and find somebody to love, and that he was going to send me someone. And he did, my little dog. But yeah, it's just strange now thinking about it, because I am approaching 60, but Johnny Depp just turned 60 yesterday, so he's still kicking.
There's hope for you yet, Lisa.
And you got
Yes,
that kind of
there
money, you can be kicking especially if you invest in the proper trainers and doctors and.
Yeah, I don't want that either. I want somebody to sit on my
and
porch swing with me and watch the creek go by, or our grandchildren run around us and stuff, and that's my life. I want the simple life of just have. I hear Brad Pitt is looking, Lisa. So is Johnny Depp, Ocean.
Well, if I were a used car, the window sticker would be 3 pages long for the
warranty,
golden check, certified used car.
That's a good question.
And then the big caveat at the bottom would say, "As is."
As is. As is.
Definitely as is.
Drive off at your own risk.
Okay, that's a good question, Thomas. Now, what would you be, Hershey, if you were a used car? What would your warranty or something say? As is too?
Well, I don't know if it would be as is, but it would definitely have something along the lines of, broken in well,
comfortable seating.
Worn, well broken in, I've been through it all. So, I mean, I'm I've made it through 3 divorces. I'm telling you, I am a pro. So,
See, I was my husband's third time lucky, and
well, see,
yeah.
I believe it. So I'm gonna walk on my 4th all the way to a home run eventually. You know, I just had to get the oddballs out the way first.
So
By
Now-
that they mean
no,
me.
you might not.
Tires kicked well. I guess, you know, my tires have been kicked several times. So
Mhm.
I don't know. There's too many that I could, you know.
my tires to see if it's good. And you just want to go out for a test drive.
Jay, do you know what a bench seat in a car was?
Probably not.
No. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
at one time in the
sorry.
You have
60s,
to look over there.
70s, they didn't have bucket seats. It was just
It
a
was
bench,
long
like a truck
seats.
seat,
Mhm.
a long bench truck seat.
In the front,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
just
a whole
one
lot
little
of
seat in
slide.
the front. It wasn't. Yeah,
We didn't get seat belts till the end of the 70s.
your arm was the seatbelt. Your dad's arm or your family's arm was the
I
seatbelt.
heard that from
That seat was in the back of the truck. Yeah, I'm so glad I grew up then. So yes.
Easy access for the back of the truck too.
Yeah, just go through the window.
I
Yeah.
would rather have a guy with a truck than a fancy car because of the fact that you could throw a mattress in the back and lay under the stars and just look. Sherry started laughing.
Who needs
She
a
thought I was
mattress?
going to say something else.
I told you she's got game.
My second husband had a big diesel.
Few
building.
times that I ever did something just completely not me was seducing a young man who was a good 5 or 6 years younger than me. And
Oh, you were a Mrs. Robinson.
and pretty much. And well, I was in my early 20s, so you know, I wasn't old and decrepit, but I was like, yeah, let's. Everybody was asleep in the house. You know, we were at friend's house, and so we went outside to the driveway in the back of his truck, you know, and had fun.
Well, they don't call it a bed for
And the next
nothing.
morning, my best friend, whose house we were staying at, she was like, "Oh my God, I hope none of the neighbors saw y'all." I said, "Well, it was 2 a.m. I don't think anybody else was awake."
DJ,
But,
us old people can have fun.
But I
We can
was
reminisce about
like
having fun.
20,
Yes.
21 at the time. So.
Exactly. 7 years younger. Flowing's got somebody who's 7 years younger. Woo. See, would you date somebody if you have children? I know some of you don't. Would you date someone that was your child's age? My son's 38. Oh no, wait. He's 39. My son is 39. So I don't think I could date anybody younger than him or same age as him.
I would want to know what's
I was
wrong with
telling-
him if someone that age wanted to date me.
What was wrong with him if somebody
Yeah,
that
I
age wanted to
mean-
date you?
That's a 20-something year difference, you know.
Could be mama's figure or whatever. Jay, what's your opinion on that? Would you date somebody that was
Well,
that?
I could share you a story that with my ex-partner was 49. I was 32 at the time during COVID.
That ain't
so
very
when it
bad
comes to that,
difference.
it's just like, you know, dating someone older. It's just like, it's a pretty cool experience. It's just like, you know, just having out of the whim, but it's kind of like when it comes to like just like with the consenting age and all that, and just like when it comes to the age, I mean, I'm open to dating someone who's just like years older than me too, or look like kind of like my age, or a little bit older, younger too. So it really just depends on like, you know, the age too. So just like when it this terrible thing, I read that. So it's kind of like, you know, I like older women too, and women my age or just like, you know, around the age too. So it's, hey, you know, I'm a man.
Y'all are giving me a reputation and I ain't done a damn thing.
I mean, shoot.
You're talking about crazy ass shit I did before I ever even got married.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of times after I was widowed, but you know. I did have a young guy when I tried the dating thing again after my husband died. And he was about 20, 25 years younger than me who wanted to date. And I was like, why? Because you're
25
older.
years.
There's so much you could teach me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not in this to be a teacher.
Yeah, but my husband was 13 years older than me, and he looked younger than me and stuff, and he acted younger than me, but he just, that didn't bother me any. But if I go 13 years younger, I've never dated anybody younger than me. So it's weird.
I have. It's fun. I mean,
it's fun. Now, see, if I won the lottery, I'd probably have me a whole harem of men. One for each hour.
Lisa?
What?
Okay, player.
Take me on a cruise.
Take you on a cruise? There you go. There you go. Thomas wants to go on a cruise again. I keep on trying to set you up with some people. It doesn't have to be your mate, because you're looking for that mate on your cruise. So, and believe me, you need a wing person, to get that going. It's just. And what about wing people? Do you take friends with you on your first date just so you can be safe?
When I did do the dating thing again, for that short period of time, I had a friend that if I had a date, I would text her, I'm meeting with so-and-so, we're going to this place, we're going to be there at X time, and I should be home by this time. I'll text you when I get home.
Here's a picture of his driver's license.
Yeah. So it was like just to make sure that we kind of had a thing. If she had a date, she did the same. She would send me a text. I'm going out with so-and-so. We're going to this place. And if you don't hear from me in 3 hours, either I got lucky or I'm dead. No,
that's scary.
Got lucky.
Killer now somewhere around. So Jay, what was your opinion on that? Would you have somebody go with you, or as your first meeting these people, or would you have the safety, if things aren't going right, would you have somebody call you at a certain time and say, get me out of this date?
I've seen that.
That's a good question. Honestly, just, because I'm a very upfront and straightforward person. It's just if someone is just say, hey, meet me at this certain time, this and that, and it's hey, that's cool. But if someone is trying to play some games, some bullshit, it's just hey, you know what? It's just let's you want to reschedule, you want to do it another day. It's just really, when it comes to just with honesty, just really be upfront with that too. So it's kind of with me.
Yeah.
I don't play that kind of games. I don't like to do that with especially with women too, because I'm raised better than that. But when it comes to me, it's just with my experience, so far the women that I connected with, they're just upfront. It's hey, they wanted a booty call, they want to throw it back, make it clap and all that. It's hey, okay. I'm just saying that. Right. It's hey, let's do it. But I'm just doing that respectfully, because I don't force them to do it. It's just they want to do it. So it's kind of they feel comfortable doing it. And you want to make it a date. You want to see a movie before that. It's okay, shit. Hey, let's go with the flow. Let's have some fun. So hey, that's my stories are pretty wild. So I'll just say it at least.
That's exactly right, Miss Tarot D. I'm that older where there was no cell phones or anything, and back in the day, you always dating was in a group type setting, parties and stuff, and going to keg parties and things like that. And it's just weird, because nowadays there's so many, and I'm sure back in the day there was people just as crazy as they are now, but it's, I don't know. I didn't have the cell phone where somebody could say, hey, come on, so-and-so has been, something happened. I was always scared, to say, don't lie, don't lie, tell the truth as much as you possibly can to get me out of this date. But I never was in a situation where I had to just leave suddenly because this date was so bad. Have you ever crawled out of a window to get away from someone?
No, not out of a window.
Hershey.
I've gotten up to go to the bathroom and then just kept right on going and didn't go back. So
Thomas is starting to laugh at her. She did. I'm sure she did, because I can tell by her face.
I'm seriously having a Coyote Ugly moment. Damn, I had to rip a couple arms off and shit. what the hell was
Now,
I?
see, some people don't know. The younger generation may not know what Coyote Ugly is.
They can
Back
look
in
it
our
up.
days.
They can look it up. They know all about technology. They're just gonna
It's
have
when
to.
you chew your arm off to get out from underneath the person.
You don't want to wake them up and disturb
Yeah.
them or none of that. Like I'm leaving everything here, including my arm. I'm out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. I would
So
be.
you've been there and done that.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't. Yep. Been there, done that.
Thomas, have you?
My question is neckties, fur-lined cuffs, or metal handcuffs?
Oh. Wow.
Depends on what the neckties are made of.
Well, silk, you know.
Silk neckties, yeah, well, they're easy to get out of. Silk is really easy because you just slip right off. It's like, that's satin. If I put a satin, I just slide right off.
I'm looking for my next Boy Scout.
Did you see what Miss Taro D said?
What? All three?
I left because they had a micro.
Oh,
Yo.
Oh, that is a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker. They can't. There's no. Let's see. What's that song?
Debbie.
I don't want no short Dick man. I think I can say that. His name is Dick. So I don't want no short.
I would prefer if they could stand up in it, but once again, these youngsters aren't going to understand what I'm saying when I ask them if they can stand up in it. So saying,
I did
have to catch up.
When I did the dating thing, and literally when we decided, okay, let's go roll in the hay, right? I remember thinking to myself, well, where is it?
Where is it? Are you in?
Little man,
Hey, look at you.
I'm having a Missy Elliott moment right now.
Oh my God.
But see, I was spoiled because my husband was like,
size doesn't matter.
So,
that's something too. Okay. Miss Taro D, you brought this up. You want to join us, honey? Size doesn't matter, does it? Seriously?
Not if they know how to, maneuver through the waves.
Mm-hmm. It's the motion in the ocean.
But if there ain't nothing there to steer the ship, then you're not getting any motion.
Well, that's why you have to get very creative with toys. There's multiple ways to be creative in this situation. You just have to see how willing to play you are.
All right. What about foreplay? Now we're talking about sex. I could have done a whole new show on sex.
Well, I'm going to need a lunch break before that one because I'm going to just work up an appetite.
Foreplay matters, I think.
Absolutely, yes, for sure.
And afterplay, I think matters.
Foreplay is that's a deal breaker.
Look at Jay and Tom.
If we're
Thomas,
over the moon, then don't touch me. Like, don't even look at me. If we're somewhere over the moon, don't even think about it. Go sleep in another room. I'll holler at you when I'm done coming back to Earth. Depends on where we left each other.
It's been a while since I've been with a woman.
I'm talking about you too. Don't you like the kissing and
Well, do you have pet names for your lady parts?
No, not that I can think of.
Do you call it Fifi or Buttons?
Mine's the Jungle Down Under, I guess.
Gravity Falls, I don't know.
Gravity Falls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would. I don't think I have pet names, but I
don't think I ever had a pet name for it.
Situation.
Let me tell you, Jaws of Life. Like I told you, Thomas, you're gonna have to bring the Jaws of Life for me and a pair of hedge clippers.
To answer your question, Lisa, I mean, foreplay is like, to me, I love foreplay. So it's kind of like, getting to know your partner, especially if you guys are like sexually compatible, interested in each other. So it's kind of a thing, and cuddling too. I'm a fan of that, and it's just like, hey, foreplay just really, stirs up the mood. It kind of is like the, it's like, oh, get
Mhm.
the temperatures up and all that too. I don't want to
Yeah.
get people too excited, but it's kind of like, what I'm getting at too. So yeah, foreplay is awesome, definitely.
I don't think
Right,
that it's
right,
anything
absolutely.
like what's in the movies. I'm sorry, Hershey. Nothing like the movies, Of course, back in the old days, it was the bow wow, chicka bow wow type movies that got, supposedly people turned on. But there's no way in hell, excuse me, I'm probably going to get monetized, but there's no way that person just screams all the way through it. Like,
Well, now, I don't know about that. I have
I
neighbors.
don't know about
My neighbor's next door now. Looks like he's probably in his mid-40s. She looks like she's 15. I know she's older than that, but I'm just going on looks. But every evening, sometimes a couple of times during the day, according to my son, I'm not here during the day, so I don't hear them. But they're loud. I mean, she's loud, and they're loud, and they go and they go. My son and I were sitting out on the patio just the other night, and we both had earbuds in listening to music. And I pulled one of my earbuds out, and I pointed at him. He pulled one of his earbuds out, and I said, "Do you hear that?" And he says, "Oh yeah, that's all day long too."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay." Now put my earbud back. It's like we can both hear them with the earbuds in and music playing loud because they were having a ball. I mean, and then some.
I mean, I've had full blown.
I don't hear him. I only hear her. But
You would laugh through it, Hershey?
No, we've had to stop and laugh because life is just, and something happened when we was in full stroke or something. I mean, it's all about
that happened. Yeah,
I don't think
cat or the dog jumps on your ass, and something weird.
Yeah,
yeah.
A friend of mine talked about she and her husband decided to sneak away one Saturday afternoon because the kids were watching cartoons and go get a little quickie in the bedroom, and they were in the middle of rocking the boat when one of the kids comes running in the room to tell them something, and they didn't realize the door wasn't locked. And she was just old enough to realize what they were doing.
My parents had 7 kids, 7 children, and I always wondered that. It's like, how? When did they have time, taking care of kids? And then, I mean, granted that they didn't really do much in their lives, went out or anything, but geez, when was that going on next to the room I was sleeping in? That kind of bothered me. It's like, damn. Right. But yeah, they were frisky.
Nothing's wrong with loud. I just laugh at them because they're beyond loud. They're like loud, like.
Well, my son does not want to talk about this with me at all. About things like that. I don't know if it's because he don't want to hear anything about his mother, which is okay. He still has a problem talking about his relationships and stuff with me. But yeah, it's weird. So yeah, when I was watching those movies this week, it was kind of like, what do you talk about? Let's cut right to the bullshit and go right to what we really want to say. I've been hurt. You've been hurt. Let's just see what goes on.
Bacon and eggs in the morning.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
Bacon and eggs. Damn, I'm coming to your house. Usually I just got a Pop-Tart.
I'm doing good if I get a bowl of cereal. I mean, I'll take it. I'm just
saying. Bowl of cereal?
Hell yeah, I love cereal.
Because you're still there in the morning. You didn't leave in the middle of the night, so obviously it was good. See, that's another pickup line. What would you like on your pancakes in the morning? My gosh. That would be the first thing you hear. I don't know. I've never really had a one night stand where I just left with the person. It's weird.
Well, you have both of your arms, so he wasn't ugly.
That's true. That's true. Although my shoulder does hurt a lot.
What do you guys think about the statistic that octogenarians, 80-year-olds and plus, are the fastest growing rate of sexually transmitted diseases in the United States right now?
I think we're to the point where once we get to that age, we just don't care. We don't cover ourselves like with protection, for the fact that condoms, oh my God, condoms, I've never even used one in my entire life, I don't think. Ever.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Is that a woman's responsibility to have a thing of condoms in the drawer next to you, or is it the man's, or is it the man's and the whatever, the other person?
I kept them in my house when my kids were growing up. My nephews, my nieces, they all knew they could go in the bathroom and get a condom right out of the medicine cabinet. I didn't pull no punches. I would rather them be safe than unprepared.
Well, see, that's what I've always told my son. Always be safe. I don't care. I can handle having a grandchild, but I can't handle seeing you laying in a hospital bed dying somewhere.
Well,
And
the elderly population doesn't think of
you don't have to have babies.
as a consequence, but because menopause has happened, and they're not thinking the consequences of children occurring.
Yeah.
And then we got these stars that are having children at 80. De Niro had a child, and who else just had a child, and they're they're going to be dead before their kids graduate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one thing to hook up with someone younger than you, but when you're in your 70s, 80s, 90s, and you hook up with a 20 or 30-year-old, more power to you. But what's the point of having a kid when you're not going to be there to help raise them?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're not going to be there to watch them graduate high school or to
I
get
think
married.
with the STDs, though, Thomas, it's I think we're not scared anymore like we were back in the day. I mean, we should be.
We lived
But
through
the
a pandemic.
consequences is like we've only got maybe 20, 30 years left of our lives if we're lucky. Oh, well, just let it happen, do what we want to do. Plus, you got all those elderly people in the nursing homes that are having sex. But I doubt that. They don't allow that.
The urge does not die as you age.
Yeah, exactly.
I worked in a nursing home.
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to have sex anymore. So,
yeah, I'm not even currently dating
or impotent.
Yeah.
So. And that affects them a lot. So you got to deal with that. Would you be able to give up sex for the rest of your relationship, or would you want to be with someone that wanted to have sex? That's a biggie. That's something you'd have to decide. And with the STDs, and stuff like that, you'd have to figure out. And it goes back to what I asked before about, do you need a medical history on this person? It's kind of funny, like that movie that I was talking about earlier with Keanu Reeves and Jack Nicholson. She was taking his blood pressure as they were having sex because she was scared he's going to die of a heart attack, And then when his blood pressure was good, she whipped off the blood pressure cup, and it was like, woohoo, Is it to that point? I mean, for us old people, is it to that point where that's what I'm going to be doing? Hey, if you got heart problems, I'm going to be putting a blood pressure cup and an oxygen thing on you so you can have sex with me. But I'm not a prude. I'm not a frigid person or anything. In fact, I'm really a hopeless romantic, but there is ways of going around sex. I mean, I'd rather have someone hold my hand or put their arms around me and whisper I love you in my ear or kiss me underneath a full moon, than just have intercourse. That's a big part for me. And if you can't do that, then I'm sorry. I can give or take.
There's a certain portion of the population that lives through the root chakras, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And companionship and body warmth are not enough for them. It's got to be carnal or nothing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And back in the day, it was mostly you hooked up with somebody because you wanted to have sex with them. It was a physical attraction. And now that we're older, this is where I leave a $50 note. Tarot D. It takes $50 to make me holla.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Your
Now I'm gonna have
husband
Tone
has.
Loc stuck in my head all day. Tone Loc. That's all I'm gonna hear all day long. In my head.
Sorry.
You have started a downworld spiral because Miles loves that song. So don't stop.
$50 to make you holler. Oh my God. Yeah.
He's over here doing the butterfly, and I'm like,
Uh-huh. There you go.
okay.
I'm a music person too, and if they don't like music, oh God, if they listen to the Tear in the Bear country, I could not handle
Yeah,
that.
we're not crying no more.
No, it's not happening. This is not happening. See what happens when
more
you invite.
Motown and you know R&B, so and jazz and.
I would love just hanging out with you, Miss Tarot D. It'd be such a fun time.
Does anybody remember like the quiet storms on like Wednesdays or Thursdays where it would just get a little bit more elevated? That's when you know you're gonna have a good night, whether you're with your SO or your husband or your sneaky link or whatever you want to call them on them quiet storm kind of nights. Those are nights I wish we could bring back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the sound of rain on a tin roof.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a little girl, my grandparents' house had a tin roof on it.
Yeah.
And I'd love to listen to the rain hitting the roof. I didn't like storms when I was little, but I loved the sound of rain hitting that roof, that tin roof.
Mm-hmm.
Are we expecting what we used to have now? Are we going to be expecting if we start to go out and date people? Would we expect the same results as we got back then?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to keep hope alive, but I mean, I've got to learn to move forward with time, or otherwise time will pass me by. So the concept of time and me don't get along, but I've got to keep up with it. So I'm going to absolutely do everything I can to move forward. But I've got hope alive that somebody will get me and want to be in a more intimate, personal, one-on-one situation instead of so much technology motivated.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, Tarot D. I'm like,
I brought the expert, Miss Tarot D.
Sure, I am.
On dating and stuff because he's the youngin' of the group of us. No offense to anybody else, but yeah.
Oh, now he's teasing
you and Hershey. She knows more about it than you guys would be a good match, Jay, for you and Hershey to do a show together like that.
I'm not well advanced because I've actually physically been there. I've just been in the world, and I have worked in strip clubs and bars and swingers, and I have been around, and I'm very.
You've learned through your experiences throughout in the world, yeah. And Jay, you, like I said, you know more about the younger generation and what's going on about today. It's and I just said when you were out, would it be us trying to remember what it used to be? You know, are we supposed to act like it's going to have the same reaction as it did when we were younger? And the dating part?
Man, that's a good question.
Like the first kiss or whatever.
You know, just like dating now, it's because it always changes, especially when it comes to certain generations. It's just like, you know, just like if you're just open to dating someone too, it's just really, being yourself. So it's kind of like, like someone that's accepting who you are. It's just like, it's good to connect with people who will accept you and you guys can accept each other. And it's like nowadays, just from my own experience alone, it's just like, people are just tired of the BS, honestly, and especially when it comes to with certain people who are just BSing or just like, people just want to be just straight up and just be real instead of just, playing kind of like silly ass mind games trying to gaslight them too. So it's kind of like, hey, just cut the bullshit. It's really just tell you what you want. And if it's just like, hey, just say it, just don't be afraid of being who you are, especially when it comes to if you're attracted to the opposite sex. It's like, hey, if you want to just date someone, just tell them. If they say no, that's okay. There's nothing in the world. But if someone does want to date you and they say yes, hey, go for it. If you guys feel compatible, connected, shoot. I mean, shit, there's so many ways to. I don't know. That's from my own experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And see, I think a lot of us are taking it all off of our life experience right now of what it used to be or what we've all lived. I think that's the biggest thing nowadays. I think it's scary out there. You never know who to trust anymore. If you find somebody at the grocery store, if you find somebody pumping gas, or if you find somebody at a bar, it's all different.
Comic book conventions,
a comic book store or whatever. Yeah.
It's like,
what does Thomas want us to ask? Okay. Why didn't you just ask us? Why DPPO, they call it bumping uglies.
what?
Why is it called bumping uglies? Who knows, Thomas?
I've never heard that term.
I haven't seen it in a long time. So I don't know. Bumping uglies. I don't know. There's so many slang words back in the day. It was bumping uglies.
Finding the sweet spot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, but I mean, they're just fun ways. Yeah, they're just fun ways
Lambada.
Yeah.
The lambada, yeah.
We're gonna go tango tonight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty much.
Those are old ones too, Sherry. Tango and bumping uglies and things like that. I have no idea what they would say now, but a lot of people that I
chill apparently.
Yeah, cute dress. There you go. It's just weird. It's very weird at dating, and I hope that everybody enjoyed today. We are going up on the 2-hour mark, and I just don't want to keep you all day Saturday, but I really appreciate all of you.
You have to break into my chocolate bag.
There you go. Sure,
sugar
get
level
in the
was dropping.
chocolate bag, because you know what that means. It means it's a
My
substitute
little
for
short
love.
peppermint patties.
But thank you so much, Thomas, from Terry Your Way.
Sherry, I'll see you Friday.
I'll see you on Friday.
All right. Thomas is going to be on
my
Sherry's channel on Friday. Anything else, Thomas, you're going to be on?
I'm going to be on Kelly at Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Or 11 a.m. Eastern, and then I'm going to be on with Gertrude later.
Yeah. Today?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Kelly and Gertrude.
Yeah. And Hershey, thank you very much for joining me today and making me laugh all day long. I loved it.
All of us laugh.
Are you going to be on with anybody, or?
Kelly and I are talking with Dozen Cat Wellness for a show towards the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I have lots of open slots. So
I didn't even know you were going on people's shows, or I'd already hit you up.
Oh, well,
Just
yeah.
don't mind Sherry. He hasn't gotten any exposure.
Thomas got my virgin wings on that. He was my very first one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an excellent host. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm just now kind of getting started. So I'm literally just kind of putting me out there so people can see how many different corners I have.
Yeah. See, and that's what
First
Thomas.
6 months, I never did a show of my own. I was just somebody else's guest. I was
Yeah.
terrified to do my own show.
See, Thomas
And then
and I
finally,
wanted
I
to
was
get
like,
everybody newbies. Yeah. Now, Sherry, who are you going to be on with next?
let's see. Wednesday, I'm gonna be on my channel, storytelling with cards that Allie, Val, and Marina do every week. But they're gonna come on and let me play. So we're gonna do that for my channel on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Thomas is gonna be on.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Saturday, the 17th, an old friend of mine from back in the Para X radio days when I was listening to a lot of paranormal stuff, Marla Brooks. She's a witch. She runs her own blog and stuff.
Yeah.
And writes books and everything. I had reached out to her and she's going to come on my channel as my guest. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't talked to her in a long time.
That's
and
great.
Then this coming Sunday's Juno time. Juno and I'll be on the 18th. She and I'll be doing our every other Sunday show, Fortunes and Flows and Fortunes and Flows, something like that. And we do Destiny and Oracle card readings, and she goes into the Jinshin Jitsu, which is it's kind of it kind of works on the same premise as acupressure, not acupuncture, but acupressure. Different pressure points in the body can affect different areas. You're having trouble here, you can press on this area there, and that kind of thing. Something she's been studying for decades and is still learning, so every other Sunday we do that. She covers a few more things, and we're just kind of going with an ongoing running system of it. So
that's kind of cool. And Jay?
Yes.
Yes, when are you going to be on?
I'm going to be on tonight. I'm doing an after hours show, so if you guys love to laugh and love to just have fun.
I'm never awake.
Yeah.
And just before that too, thank you for inviting me, Lisa. This was really fun.
Oh, honey, thank you for coming. I am so blessed to have all of you come. Stick around backstage, and I will end this broadcast. But thank you all in chat. May you have kindness.
Bye, everybody.
And share your kindness. And share your beacon of light. Peace.
See ya.
Hey.
Bye.